I am completely speechless. Just look how beautiful this Subaru is. And that booty. I'm kidding, everyone. Welcome to Forza Horizon 5. This is going to be a new series that I'm going to start on my channel. What we're going to do is we are going to drag race a bunch of cars. We're gonna do crazy things such as engine conversions, drivetrain conversions, and drop in a few superchargers and turbochargers wherever it's possible. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna share my tune with you to make sure you get that extra little bit out of your car. So there's no better car to start the series off than the Subaru Impreza STI itself. So originally this car comes out with a flat 4 2-liter motor, also known as the EJ20. So I went to the extreme and I did an engine conversion. Now we're running a 4-liter flat 6 twin turbo motor. This car is phenomenal. We've got slicks on it and this car is a pocket rocket. To give you guys an idea, this car, let's quickly go to upgrades, custom upgrades. Let's go over here, over there, and right over here you guys can see this car is pushing 714 kilowatt, 853 newton meters of torque. That is a lot for a 1.3 ton car. So as you guys can see over here, it is the 4-liter motor. So let me quickly just go through everything over here and show you guys what I've done to the car. So here for the conversion area, I went to the bottom one, the flat 6 4-liter, and then as I told you guys, I dropped 2 turbos in it, twin turbos for the win. So for the drivetrain, I actually just left it like that. We're still running the normal 4-wheel drive setup. This one over here, as you guys can see, is a rear-wheel drive setup. We haven't done that as yet. If we go back, we are gonna go here to the engine upgrades, and I technically took everything to max. We installed the best induction kit, the biggest, oh gosh, sorry, now I'm never mind. So yeah, we installed right over here the biggest race fuel system, which probably seems to consist of a fuel cell, some injectors and so forth. So over here we have got our ignition max upgrade. So for the exhaust, the biggest one is drop over here, the biggest head for it. The valves, the max valves. I just want to go through everyone and show you guys exactly what I've got in, just to make sure that you guys, if you are going to use my tune, that this is the tune that I found to work the best with this car. So we went to the biggest turbo. For the intercooler, sometimes you guys got to watch out. There is some intercooler parts with the oil cooling system that it actually drops your performance a little bit. So as you guys can see over here, it doesn't do anything that different. So this is minus 37 kilowatt, minus 29, minus 17, and this one is where we are currently at. So then we got to do the flywheel as well. We've got the best flywheel installed. So for the brake system, over here we've got the biggest brakes because we gotta brake this pocket rocket. For the shocks, okay, the springs and the dampers, we actually installed the rally spring and dampers, because what happens is with this car, as soon as you pull away, your weight will go to the back. So with the race suspension, even though it's a bit lower and etc., it is actually very difficult to get it soft enough to get all the weight to the back. Did I just touch something? Yeah, I touched the control, that's why it went up. So yeah, we actually just sticked with the rally springs. Obviously afterwards we can go and lower it and so forth. Let me just plug my controller out. Sorry for that, guys. It just keeps on viewing up. I don't know what's up there. Maybe there's a bug on the car or something. But anyway, so for the anti-roll bars, we have installed the strongest in the front, the strongest in the back, the race ones. And then for, obviously, if you want to, you can put in a roll cage, but at this point we have to save weight. If you click on here, it does say that it helps with the handling and so forth, but it adds to weight. Look at that, 44 kilogram. That is way too much. And then for the weight, we obviously went and did a full weight reduction on the car. Okay, so let's quickly move back. For the drivetrain, right over here, we put in the best clutch. For the transmission, so I don't know if you guys have noticed, there is a bunch of new transmissions that have added since Forza Horizon 5 and Motorsport 7 and all of those, if I'm not mistaken. So technically these all are the different speed gearboxes, such as a 10 speed, a 9-speed, 8-speed, 7-speed, and then we have got the race transmission. So I found out, and when I was just checking everything, it looked to me like the race suspension was the best of them all. So let's quickly go back, and if I'm not mistaken, it's also a 6-speed gearbox. So for the drive line, we have got the race one installed, and for the rear diff, there's also different ones such as off-road, drift, rally, and so forth. So I actually went with the race diff, so we can obviously move the more of the power to the back and to the front and etc. You guys will see in a minute. So if we go here to the tires, I actually went all the way down and installed these slicks. I actually completely mistaken the two. I had these slicks in as technically like semi-slicks, if I can say it like that. So yeah, we went completely with full slicks, and now it sticks to the road. I spent so much time trying to tune this car, and it just spun all the way through to like until you hit second gear, then it stops spinning. So now the car is much better. And then also for the wheels, obviously you want to make sure your wheels is as wide as it can be. Obviously this car is all-wheel drive, meaning that we need grip in the front and the back. So if this car was rear-wheel drive, you would have just had the big rear shoe on the back, the tire obviously, and just a small biscuit in the front. So at the back we also have got some extra grip. If we go to the tires, you can literally choose any mags you want, right? All you gotta look at is the one that weighs the less, and obviously by your preference you can get a different size mag, as a different type of mag, sorry for that. And then over here I don't really touch the mag size. As you guys can see, just it's not really that great of the braking off-road. Not that I'm really making this car for that, I just kept it the size it is. So for this, the front track width, obviously this is going to help you when you're taking corners and all of these things. I just went and put all of them max. Technically this is putting spacers in, if it makes any sense. It's not that you're making your tire bigger, no. It's just that you are actually shifting the position where it is. So going over to the aero and appearance, I did change the front bumper because I wanted a little bit more downforce in the front, just to make sure that the car doesn't spin too much on the pullaways, and obviously, yeah, through the entire way. The rear wing, I didn't really bother with it. I did change the rear bumper. This is all self-preference. I just wanted to have a little bit more downforce in the front. The reason why I actually did this is it's not drag related. It's more for taking corners, and when you do take a corner at a high speed, just to make sure there's that little bit of extra downforce pressing your nose down, you can go and literally take it out. It doesn't even matter on drag racing. You actually want as little downforce on drag racing as possible. So there we go. So we have done everything. Let's quickly move over to the tune. So here is my tune over here. At the rear, I put the the air pressure as low as can be, just to make sure we've got that extra little bit of grip. I do want to tell you guys one thing before we go into this too deep, right? So over here, you guys are going to see our 0 to 100 is 1.739. Do not always do not always believe this. What this says and on real basis time, it's actually completely different. For example, I can take this gearing and put this first gear, as you guys can see, is at 330. We can make it shorter, and okay, wait, that's too short. Sorry, let's quickly just lower it down a bit. Or does it want to be a little bit longer? So obviously you can play with it. So yes, in some occasions where you actually go and make the gear longer, it's gonna get to 100 faster, but you will be actually spinning all the way. My demonstration here unfortunately didn't work. Maybe it will work on the next time I'm gonna try it. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that you're gonna make sure that you've got that in-between movement of not spinning too much and not bogging your car. So we have got the back wheels on one bar, just to make sure we've got that grip on a pull away. The front tire, I actually like to increase the pressure a little bit more. One of the reasons is, if I go here to the differential, sorry that I'm jumping left and right, but I would like to give you guys as much information as possible. So if we jump here to the differential, as you guys can see, we've got more power going to the rear than to the front. So that means we need more grip at the back, but having a little bit more pressure in the front is going to help us with our top end speed and just some better stability on the road. Increasing it too much is going to result in wheel spin. That's why I only went up with 0.3. I wouldn't recommend going more than 0.5. At between 0.3 and 0.5 I didn't see so much of a difference. As soon as I went to 0.7, 0.8, I noticed my times actually went a little bit worse. So right over here we have got our gearing. You guys can just copy and paste this. Pause the video right now. And then for the alignment, you can have everything here on 0. For the front caster, I just push it up all the way. The reason why this is -1, whenever your car actually pulls away, your nose is lifting up. So I've done some modifications to the springs that I'll show you guys now to help your car's nose lift up a little bit more to get more weight at the back for some better grip. So whenever your nose actually lifts up a little bit, with the negative camber, it will actually go to a 0, a positive 0. So sometimes this is trial and error. You can push it all the way to -5. I just found out that -1 works really good for me. If I take it, even if I put it on -3, it feels like there's not such much of a difference. I just decided to keep it at -1. You can go into that fine tuning if you want to. Over here, I like to keep everything as stiff as possible. For the springs, right over here, you can see the rear, the rear springs is actually a little bit stiff. So when the weight does go to the back, you don't actually want to pop a wheelie and have a soft suspension at the back, because then your back end will just go all the way down, lifting your front up, and you'll pop a wheelie. So you actually want to make sure you've got some stiffness at the back, so when your rear wheels does actually go down, it doesn't compress all the way. It can input the actual power to the ground without lifting the nose. So obviously, because the rear is going to go down, I want my rear to be up a little bit more, just to make sure that the car, it doesn't go too far down. Obviously, the wheel won't actually hit inside the arch, but you get what I'm saying. So for the damping, right over here, we've got our front on a bit of more to the stiff than the rear, because we want to make sure we've got a little bit more grip on the back on the rear wheels than we got on the front wheels. So then for the rebound and the bump, you just got to do vice versa. So the front is more stiff, so with the bump stiffness, the rear has got to be more stiff than the front. Anyway, so let's go to the aero. So once again, this was actually for my cornering. You can turn it all the way down. For now, I'm just going to leave it like this. For the brakes, you can choose it as you want. And for the differential, here we go. So for the front diff, we actually want to make sure that is 100%. I heard that in previous Forzas, 75 used to work the best. It obviously all depends on how you're accelerating and if your car is spinning too much and so forth. So that is from car to car to car. I've got my tune to that point where we don't spin too much in first gear. We do have a little bit of a wheel spin, but it's not too much. We don't care about deceleration because we are just going to floor it down. This is technically whenever you let off of the throttle when you're going to take a corner, like how much or how quick your car is going to decelerate before you actually hit the corner. So once again, here is our balance to make sure we are sending more power to the rear than the front. Okay, so we're not going to save everything. We are going to quickly go back to our map. Oh my word, the people are destroying this poor racetrack. Okay, let's just go a little bit forward. So what we're going to do is, we're going to quickly, sorry, I just want to get away from all the noise down there. We're just going to stop right over here. So one thing you got to do with this car is you got to make sure when you go to settings, you want your your traction control to be off. You can keep your stability control on because we are not taking corners, we're just going straight, but your traction control needs to be off because we are going to have some little bit of wheel spin in the front. So if the traction control is on, it will actually take away some power of your car to avoid the spin, and you're going to have a massive bog. So in this way, you actually want your car to have a little bit of a spin just to show that you're not bogging it too much. Obviously, you can reduce it by making your first gear a little bit longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold in our handbrake. We're going to accelerate, and as you guys saw, we've got a little bit of a wheel spin there in the first gear. But before we're even halfway through the first gear, the wheel spin stops completely. And then also you want your car to be in manual. I'm seeing much better results in manual mode than actually having it in automatic mode. The problem with automatic is it's just shifting it a little bit too soon. So whereas when you're driving manual mode, you want to hit it just in the red, such as this. So before we end this video, we are going to do a drag race. We're just going to go here and we are going to choose our Subaru. Just get the mouse out of the screen quick. Okay, so let's quickly go start race. And there we go, 15.632. I have had better in the past, but this is probably around average where you will see. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I do hope that this video helped everyone out. If it did, make sure to drop a big like. I just want to ask you guys something. If you do find something you have done... Oh, sorry guys. Oh, damn it. So if you guys do actually find a different tune or something that helped out this car a little bit more, please do make sure you share it in the comments below, even if it's changing the gear ratio a little bit or whatsoever. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I do hope you all enjoyed this video, found it useful, entertaining, or whatsoever. If you did, make sure to drop a big like. If you would love to support the channel, especially if you're new, hit the logo at the bottom right corner to subscribe. If you want to see a similar video, hit the icon on the left. If you want to see one of my most recent videos, hit the icon on the right, and then I'll see all of you legends in my next video. But for now, say it with me, peace out.